Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be going through what my original goal was for my project, what my customers wanted and how I was able to deliver it and what the next steps were after that. So my original goal was improving the UX of recruitment. As a growing technology business, REA hires for lots of different roles. The talent acquisition team constantly seem to be inundated with a volume of never-ending vacant roles, and the company strongly encourages career progression. There's been lots of success stories of people moving into different roles or even becoming more senior. So with the methods that I use to get to know my users, I sent out an online survey, I conducted some interviews, and also designed some empathy maps. And the key takeaways from my research was there are a number of pain points within the different customer journeys. There's some similarities between the needs of candidates, interviewers, and hiring managers, but there are also lots of differences. There's also different types of roles which required a tailored approach because they're completely different target audience. So after synthesizing the feedback from my initial discovery, I realized that there is so much work involved in what I initially set out to do, and so I decided to narrow down on improving the process of hiring for UX designers internally. My primary target audience was the candidate and the hiring manager. So I created customer journeys for the candidate and the hiring manager to actually understand what the pain points were and then understand what customers wanted, what an ideal state would look like. If you have to think about the different parts of the process, what applying for the role, what the recruitment process, and what the feedback loop should look like. So I managed to get people from different parts of the business together to do an ideation session. And what we did was we took 10 minutes to jot down as many ideas we could think of. We went really broad with our thinking. We thought about virtual reality, we thought about a Slack bot, native app, microsite. We then voted on the top 3 ideas and discussed them. So we did some rapid prototyping and based on that created a trade-off slider. So with that trade-off slider, we looked at ease of use, value, cost, speed of market, and resources. So I designed then from that iteration a prototype of what the manager's microsite would look like. So at the top there, you can see that they're hiring for a UX designer, which you could click through and get the job description. On the right-hand side, you can see that I've logged in as a hiring manager. So I have all of the hiring manager relevant topics and I've got my notifications. The next interview that I have has synced with my calendar. I can see what type of interview it is. I can see who's attending it and which room it's in. Underneath that, I've got a timeline which has the different dates of when things have happened. So you can see a candidate has applied. You can click through that to see there's 5 candidates. Who are they? So that would take you to Workday. You can then see that they've spoken to their manager. 3 out of 5 of them have. You can click through that to see more. You then can click through to the first interview to understand what questions have been asked. You can see 1 out of those 5 candidates have interviewed so far. And then underneath that, you've got some handy resources. So that could be training information, like how-to stuff, interview etiquette, career development information. The next prototype I designed was for the candidate specific one, which is logging in as a candidate and getting the relevant information that you needed. So where your next interview is going to be, who it's going to be with, underneath the timeline, links that are relevant to stuff that is related to your journey and process, and underneath that, resources that is relevant to you as well, like training plus career development information, what to expect, a skills matrix. So with the next steps is to keep the conversation going. We'd then do some user testing sessions to go in depth about how people are going, how they're feeling about the product, whether it's actually practical and helping them. Thank you so much for your time. Some of the insights were we use so many tools at REA. We use Slack, which has lots of different channels in itself. We use the internet, email, Workday. How do we make sure that whatever we're designing is going to actually make people's lives easier, then create more content for them? And how do we make sure it integrates with their current tools? Also, we thought about how content is consumed. So the original assumption was that people would be reading things on the go. So we'd be looking at a native app. But the reality was it was going to be better as a responsive website. And we also thought about whether people prefer reading or video.